For as long as I can remember, Celebrity Cruises has had a reputation for having some of the best food in the cruise industry. And last year, I put that to the test on Celebrity Apex. But this year, we're going to put that to the test again. Is the food on Celebrity really that good? Hello cruisers, welcome to another Cruise Report Food and Dining Review. Now, we just got off Celebrity Beyond. We spent a week eating all over the ship. We ate in the main dining room 3 times. We ate in the Oceanview Cafe a few times for lunch. We tried some other spots. We ate at some of the specialty restaurants. However, there were some places that we ate at on Celebrity Beyond that we weren't able to try on Apex last year, and consequently, we ate at some places on Apex last year that we weren't able to eat at on Beyond this year. So if you're interested in a more overview of all of the places to eat on these Edge class ships, you may also want to check out the Celebrity Apex dining review that I did last year. Okay, before we get into all of this, let me just kind of give you a little background of where we're coming from as cruise reviewers. When it comes to food, neither Ricky or I are really big on seafood. We will order it from time to time. She's a little more into it than I am. I'm a little more into meat and spicy food, Thai food, Indian food, things like that. Ricky is more meat and potatoes. She likes, chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, Southern style cooking, that kind of thing. I want to also point out that on this cruise, I was right in the middle of intermittent fasting. So that's not the easiest thing to do when you're on a cruise ship filled with all this delicious food. But that meant no breakfast for me. So we don't really cover breakfast in this video. It's more about lunch and dinner. Our sailing on Celebrity Beyond was our 139th cruise in the past 21 years and our 6th with Celebrity. Now over that period, we've sailed on 39 different cruise lines and 109 different ships. We've had the opportunity to dine at some of the best restaurants at sea and some of the worst. I remember one ship where the food was so bad we couldn't wait to get into port so that we could get off the ship, walk around town, and find some place to eat. Unfortunately, it was in Iceland. Also like to remind you that food reviews are very subjective. Food and dining is one of the hardest things to review because everybody has different tastes. Even between Ricky and I, she and I can eat the exact same thing and she'll end up loving it, I'll end up hating it, or vice versa. So if you've sailed on Celebrity Edge class ships and you have a different opinion of the food and dining, or maybe you just had a different experience, make sure to put it in the comments section down below. That's what the comments are for. In the first part of this video, I'm going to just cover all of the different dining venues that are available to you on Celebrity Beyond. Now, later in the video, I'll go into our actual experiences, what we ordered in each restaurant and what we thought of each thing we ordered. I'm going to put chapter markers in the description of the video. So if you want to skip ahead to a certain part of the video, please feel free to do so. And you can find that in the description down below. On Celebrity Edge class ships, the main dining experience takes place in any of 4 different restaurants, each with its own decor, theme, and menu. Cyprus is a Greek-themed dining room, and it's located on deck 4 across from Cosmopolitan, which has more of an upscale continental theme. Cosmopolitan was the only MDR that was open for breakfast each morning and for lunch on sea days. If you walk 1 deck down, you'll find Tuscan, an Italian-themed restaurant, which is directly across from Normandy, the French-themed restaurant. All 4 of these main dining venues are included in the price of your cruise. Feel free to eat at any of them on any given night, or if you choose more of a traditional cruise dining experience, you could eat in the same restaurant every night at the same table with the same table mates and the same waiter. The dinner menus in each restaurant share a common selection of celebrity signature choices, which change every day, in addition to a few dishes unique to the restaurant which reflect the restaurant's theme. It's a very creative take on main dining, and it's one that we really enjoy. Each restaurant also offers a choice of celebrity classics, which is their version of an always available menu. The next included dining option is Oceanview Cafe, which is the ship's Lido buffet located on deck 14 aft. Oceanview Cafe is massive, and it's one of the better buffets of any cruise ship on which we've sailed. Rather than having to stand in a long cafeteria-style line as you do on many cruise ship buffets, Oceanview has divided food choices into separate stations. If you want a salad, there's a salad station. If you want Mexican food, there's one for that. Same for Asian or Indian food. I think you get the idea. There are a lot of choices available at Oceanview Cafe, especially for breakfast and lunch, not so much for dinner. Now, if you want a burger or a chicken sandwich with fries, just go to deck 14 forward to the Mast Grill, where it's a kind of a fast food option. Eden Cafe is located on deck 5 aft, right in front of the Eden Bar, and it offers lunch service every day, kind of a lighter lunch option with paninis and salads, cookies, cakes, and I think they also have breakfast on sea days here. The Spa Cafe and Juice Bar is located inside the solarium on deck 14 midship and offers breakfast, lunch, and snacks throughout the day, kind of served tapas style. For grab-and-go morning pastries or afternoon and evening cookies and sweets, Café Al Bacío on deck 4 midship is the place. The specialty coffee drinks here are not included in your cruise fare, but the pastries, cookies, and cakes here are complimentary. And while we're on the topic of coffee, the only complimentary or free coffee that I could find on the ship was either at Oceanview Cafe, the buffet, or in the main dining room. There is a soft serve ice cream machine at the Mast Grill, but the better ice cream is probably going to be at Scoops, which is right as you walk into Oceanview Cafe. Lumine at the retreat is an included dining venue for guests of the retreat, basically anyone occupying a suite. Lumine is open every day for breakfast and dinner with lunch on sea days. Blue is a healthy choice-focused restaurant that's included for anyone staying in an Aqua Class stateroom or suite and is open for breakfast and dinner each day. In addition to all of these included dining options, Celebrity Beyond also offers a variety of specialty dining choices which are not included in your cruise fare. Voyage is a Daniel Boulud restaurant offering international cuisine and is unique to Celebrity Beyond and will also be available on Celebrity Ascent. There is a $75 per person cover charge to dine at Voyage, and they also offer a tasting menu here for $125 per person. Raw on 5 is a seafood, sushi-focused restaurant on Deck 5 midship with an a la carte menu. This is a popular restaurant that can be found on all Edge-class ships, and it's open for lunch and dinner each day. Fine Cut Steakhouse, I think, is only open for dinner, even though on the website I do see a lunch menu shown, so maybe they do open for lunch on some days. I didn't notice it on our cruise. They offer USDA prime steak choices. There is a $65 per person cover charge to dine at Fine Cut Steakhouse. La Petite Chef is a unique dining experience that combines multi-course fixed menu with creative animations that appear right on your tabletop. There is a $65 per person cover charge for La Petite Chef. The ultimate dining experience may be dinner on the edge, which is celebrities' version of a chef's table. There is a $129 per person cover charge for this experience, and I believe it's held on the magic carpet. Eden Restaurant offers an open kitchen dining concept where you can enjoy an eclectic menu while also taking in some really amazing views through the glass wall at the aft of the ship. The cover charge to dine here is $60 per person. Craft Social is a sports bar that also offers an a la carte menu of pub snacks. Le Grand Bistro is a French bistro that's open for lunch each day and offers a large menu along with some daily specials. There's a $30 per person cover charge to dine here. Rooftop Garden Grill is sort of an American grill specialty restaurant located on deck 15 aft, and it's open for dinner and lunch, and it's $45 to dine here at dinner per person, and I believe it's $30 per person for lunch. Even though room service is technically not specialty dining, I'm not putting it in the included dining section because they do now charge a $9.95 per order service fee for delivering food to your stateroom. Now, all of these specialty restaurant fees or charges do also come with an 18% gratuity charge added to your check. So I'm just getting into the food and dining review on Celebrity Beyond. We still have to tell you where we ate, what we liked, what we didn't like, and at the end of the video, I'm even going to tell you what my favorite dish of the entire cruise was, as well as my least favorite. But before I get into all of that, I would like to ask you a favor. If you're enjoying this video so far and you're passionate about cruising, please take a second to click that little subscribe button down below. Don't forget the notification bell so that YouTube can let you know when we come out with new videos. There's absolutely no cost to subscribe. It's completely free. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Now, let's get back to Celebrity Beyond's food and dining. When we sailed on Celebrity Apex last year, we only dined in the MDR one time, and that was in the Cyprus, the Greek-themed restaurant. So on this sailing, we actually ate in main dining 3 different evenings. Our first main dining room experience on Beyond was in Cyprus once again. I remembered this saganaki dish that we had, kind of a melted stringy cheese with lemon and crostini, and Ricky and I shared it last year on Apex, and we really, really liked it. So when our waitress came to the table, I mentioned that we wanted to share a couple of different appetizers or starters, and one of those was the saganaki and another was the meze platter. The saganaki was about half the size of the portion we received last year on Apex. It really wasn't large enough to share, and the cheese was not even hot, so not really a great beginning. The meze platter was a selection of dips like tzatziki and hummus. It came with some pita bread, some olives, and honestly, it was just okay. Ricky wasn't super hungry, so all she ordered was the shrimp cocktail and French onion soup, and these are both on the always available menu. Now, Ricky said the shrimp cocktail was good, but it only had 4 pretty small shrimp. She wasn't a big fan of the French onion soup, or she claimed it was a little watery, it lacked flavor, it didn't have very many onions in it, so she was a little disappointed. Now, for my main course, I ordered the Cypriot short ribs, which were honestly a little bit fatty, but the flavors were good. It was very tender, and I didn't really have any complaint. I thought it was pretty good. For Ricky, the highlight of this meal was the bread. She loved the baguettes that were in the bread basket. In fact, she devoured every one of them. We had to order extra butter. One thing I did find rather interesting is that none of the Cyprus entrees are what I think of as traditional Greek food. When I think of Greek food, I think of souvlaki, spanakopita, lemon chicken, pasticcio, but not short ribs or pasta. Maybe that's just me. Our second main dining experience was at Normandy, the French-themed restaurant. We both ordered the baked brie cheese starter, and we both ordered the beef en croûte. Now, both of these are from the Normandy Exclusives menu. Now, I enjoyed the baked brie and the puff pastry more than Ricky did. I would definitely order that again. The beef en croûte was reminiscent of a beef Wellington, a piece of tenderloin baked in a puff pastry with a mushroom duxelle. Mine was a little overcooked. I would say it was good, but not mind-blowing. Our final main dining experience was at Cosmopolitan. And once again, Ricky ordered the shrimp cocktail. Again, she really loved the shrimp. She just wished it had more. I decided to try the Caesar salad, one of my favorite things, and the yellow corn soup. Now, the Caesar salad was very good. Lettuce was fresh. The dressing was garlicky and tangy, kind of what you expect. Good croutons. Really enjoyed the Caesar salad. Yellow corn soup was sort of meh, just okay. I should mention that on the evening we dined here, they were offering a lobster tail on the Celebrity Signatures menu. I'm okay with lobster. It's just not a big deal for me. I chose to go with the oxtail royale, and I am so glad I did. The oxtail was fall apart tender and really delicious. Even the salsify puree was good. And if you're like me and you have no idea what the hell salsify is, I had to Google it. It's this really ugly looking carrot, but they take it and they made a puree out of it, and it was actually very good. If we had eaten at Cosmopolitan earlier in the cruise, I would have made a return visit just so I could have that oxtail royale again. It was that good. So how would we rate our main dining room experience on Celebrity Beyond? Well, the concept of having these 4 different dining rooms, I would give a 10 out of 10. I think that's the best concept we've seen on any large cruise ship. I would say the service was about a 9 out of 10 overall, and the food quality somewhere, I'd say 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, because we had some really good things, some pretty average things. But that's actually pretty good for main dining room. Now, even though I didn't have breakfast in Oceanview Cafe because of my fast, I did walk through one morning and take a look at the different stations, and it is massive. They have everything you could ever want for breakfast, and it was actually pretty crowded. So this is a very, very popular place for breakfast on Celebrity Beyond. Also, we did not try Oceanview Cafe for dinner. There were just too many other choices. But we did hear from several guests that Celebrity has scaled back the dining choices at Oceanview Cafe in the evenings. Now, while I can't confirm that myself, we heard that from a lot of people. If you walk all the way to the back of Oceanview Cafe, you'll find the pizza station where a variety of pizza choices are offered. While I don't think Celebrity's pizza is at the same level as Carnival or even Princess for that matter, it was much better than I remembered from Celebrity Apex. So I don't know if they've changed something, or maybe we just hit it on a bad day on Apex, but the pizza was actually pretty good. If you follow our blogs and our videos, you know that neither Ricky or I are big on buffets. It's just not really our thing. That said, Oceanview Cafe is one of the better buffets we've ever had on a cruise ship. I can honestly say that everything I had, and I think Ricky would say the same thing, at Oceanview Cafe was either good to excellent. Very, very good. Indian curry dishes were some of the best I've ever had on a cruise ship. The butter chicken tikka masala was amazing and quite spicy, something you don't normally see on a cruise ship. And the saag paneer was one of the best I've ever had anywhere. Now, Ricky seemed to enjoy everything she tried at Oceanview Cafe as well. So if I had to rate Oceanview Cafe as a buffet, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The only other thing I wish they did at Oceanview is I wish that the crew served all of the food. There are many stations where you do have to serve yourself and grab those utensils. Now, I'm a big coffee drinker. Ricky doesn't drink coffee, but every morning I was enjoying coffee at Café Al Bacío on deck 4 midship. And this is one of the most popular places on the ship. It seems like throughout the day, there's always a line here. I really loved the work desk situation they have here where I could plug in my computer. I go down there for a couple hours each day, work on my blogs and my videos and stuff, and it was really nice. And after the second day, I did not even have to place an order. The waitress remembered what I ordered, and she would just bring me my Americano, and that's just incredible service. You don't see that normally on a ship with 3,000 people. And by the way, if you're interested in our day-by-day experiences on Celebrity Beyond, check out our blog at CruiseReport.com. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Now, even though the coffee drinks are not complimentary at Café Al Bacío, the cookies, pastries, cakes, all of these other sweet treats are available, and they are included in the price of your cruise, and they are delicious. I would take 1 or 2 things back to Ricky each morning to the stateroom, along with her cup of hot chocolate. And Ricky will tell you the hot chocolate is the best she's ever had anywhere. They put a lot of the powdered cocoa in the hot chocolate, and they use steamed milk. They don't use hot water. They use milk, and they top it with whipped cream. It's really delicious. If you love hot chocolate, go to Café Al Bacío. Now, we did have the premium drink package on this cruise, and all of the coffee drinks were included in the premium drink package. When we sailed on Apex last year, we didn't even know that Eden Cafe existed until the last day of the cruise. I remember looking at the program and saying, "Where's Eden Cafe?" Because we were walking right by it several times, but they had it kind of, I guess, curtained off or something where you couldn't see it, so we never knew it was there. But on this trip, we did decide to try Eden Cafe. Now, Eden Cafe is open every day for lunch and breakfast on sea days, and it's sort of a, I'd say, fast casual light meal option, and we loved it. I ordered a chicken pesto panini, and Ricky had the turkey sandwich. I also had the chicken and ancient grain salad. They got some very unique salads, very healthy looking salads here, and they have a salad bar where a crew member will put anything you want, everything possibly topping wise available on your salad along with the dressing, and it was delicious. We will definitely be going back to Eden Cafe on a future Edge Class cruise. All of our other meals were in specialty dining, as was our very first dinner on embarkation day, and that was at Le Voyage, which is Daniel Boulud's specialty restaurant. It's only on Celebrity Beyond and will be on Celebrity Ascent, and it serves an international menu. The atmosphere at Le Voyage is elegant, albeit a bit stark and sterile. I wish I could show you a picture of the menu here, but it was so dark in the restaurant, I really couldn't get any good photos. We were greeted by a wine steward who poured us a welcome glass of Clicquot champagne, and soon after, our waiter arrived, presented us with our menus. After we placed our order, we were presented with an amuse-bouche, which was some sort of a little eggplant puree. It was really good. For our starters, I ordered the tamarind and peanut crusted prawns and the Alaskan king crab salad, and Ricky ordered the onion tart. The king crab salad was very good, but nothing compared to the shrimp, which was floating in this delicious Thai green curry sauce. For our main courses, Ricky went with the chicken, and I ordered the prime black Angus filet mignon. Ricky's chicken was perfectly cooked, fork tender, and I thought it was just delicious. My filet was also perfectly cooked, very tender. but the black truffle sauce that it came with just didn't quite elevate the flavor as much as I'd hoped it would. If I were going to return to Le Voyage in the future, I think I would try the lamb chop instead. I don't remember what the dessert was called, but it was large enough for Ricky and I to share. And we're not huge dessert eaters anyway, but this thing was massive. And it had every type of chocolate you could imagine. This dessert was really too beautiful to eat, so we just didn't. We felt guilty trying to eat it. That's a lie. We were soon fighting over every bite we could get into our mouths. It was absolutely amazing. If you love chocolate, you're going to love this dessert. So how would I rate Le Voyage? Well, I'm going to say the food was a 9 out of 10. The atmosphere, a 9 out of 10. And the service was a 10 out of 10. It was some of the best service we've had in any restaurant. And even though the service was that good, there were some times when the waiter, it was a little hard to understand. He had a pretty thick accent, but otherwise it was really amazing service. At $75 per person plus gratuity, this is probably the most expensive restaurant outside of a chef's table that we've ever dined at on a cruise ship. So is it worth $75 per person? I guess that depends on whether or not you're a real foodie. I think if you are really, really food focused and you like high-end food, you'll think it's worth it. One of our favorite meals last year on Celebrity Apex was lunch at Le Grand Bistro. Now, they do charge a $30 per person cover charge at Le Grand Bistro. Le Grand Bistro really does have the feel of a small sidewalk cafe in Paris. The menu is large, offers daily specials along with a choice of sandwiches, soups, starters, and some other entrees, as well as dessert. Now, Ricky ordered the French onion soup as her starter, which she had last year on Apex and loved it. I started with the frisee lardon salad. In case you don't know what lardon is, it's basically pork belly. Ricky's French onion soup was much better than the one she had in the main dining room. It was filled with sweet onions, topped with a crouton, in a rich broth with melted Gruyere cheese. This is the way French onion soup is supposed to be made. Now, my salad was delicious with big chunks of crispy pork belly and topped with a perfectly poached egg. For our main courses, Ricky ordered the ham and cheese baguette, which was huge and delicious. I, on the other hand, was in the mood for a burger. I was ready for an elevated burger experience. So I ordered the double cheese truffle burger. And I just assumed by the name that it was just a double portion of cheese, like they put 2 slices of cheese on it. But oh no, they actually put 2 beef patties and 2 slices of cheese. This thing is massive. Now, unfortunately, I took a bite and I could tell immediately the burger was way undercooked. I ordered medium and mine came out really rare. It wasn't even medium rare, it was rare. If it had been medium rare, I probably would have gone ahead and eaten it. I asked the waiter, or I mentioned it to the waiter. He quickly took it away, and about 10 minutes later brought back another burger which was perfectly cooked. And this is really a delicious hamburger. If you love a burger, check out this black truffle, double cheese, whatever they call it. The total cost of our meal was $70.80, which included the 18% gratuity, and I'm putting this in air quotes for a reason I'll tell you later. Was it worth it? Well, no. A hamburger and a ham sandwich and a bowl of soup and a salad are not worth $70. However, for us, the experience is, because it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's never been crowded when we're in there, maybe because they charge so much. That's fine with us. So we will definitely dine at Le Grand Bistro again for lunch on the next Celebrity Cruise. I would rate the food here an 8 or 9 out of 10. Service a 9 out of 10 only because it was a little bit slow on this trip. I think they only had one waiter and he was taking care of everybody in the whole restaurant. But service was good. It was just a little bit slow. So I recommend Le Grand Bistro. I think it's something you should check out. We celebrated Valentine's Day dinner at Rooftop Garden Grill. We had such a good experience on Celebrity Apex, we wanted to make sure we did it again on Beyond. There is a $45 per person cover charge to dine here, which is a little expensive on a cruise ship for what some would arguably call elevated pub food. Now, I started with an order of the smoked chicken wings, which are offered with either a dry rub or a spicy buffalo sauce. I asked our waitress if I could get half and half, and she said no problem. Ricky ordered the caprese salad with cherry tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella, and basil, drizzled with olive oil and balsamic. Now, the salad was a little skimpy on the mozzarella compared to the one she had last year on Celebrity Apex. You can see the difference. For my main course, I ordered the mesquite baby back ribs, which, like the wings, can be ordered with a dry rub or a wet barbecue sauce. Now, I like the dry rub. It's the same one they use on the wings, so that's how I ordered mine. Now, being from Texas, which is considered barbecue country, I'm not going to sit here and look into this camera and tell you that these are the best ribs I've ever had, because they're simply not. However, I will tell you they could be the best ribs I've ever had on a cruise ship, and I will be ordering them again. Ricky ordered the pulled pork trio slider, which I think she also ordered last year on Apex, and they were also very good. The French fries served here are as good as the ones in Le Grand Bistro, which I failed to mention earlier. The French fries are hot, crisp, really good French fries. Now, just to maintain a degree of journalistic integrity, I didn't want to do it, but I decided to go ahead and order the lamb chops too, just to see what they were like. And this was really the only disappointment of the entire meal. The lamb chops they just lacked flavor. They were a little tough. I think I ate one. I left the rest. Unfortunately, they just weren't that good. I did, however, love the creamed corn side that I ordered. I've had this 2 years in a row. I didn't get a picture of the dessert menu. I think I was just too full and groggy from the meal. But we did order a dessert to share, and I think it had the name S'mores in it somewhere. And it wasn't super huge, but boy, was it delicious. We ate every bite of that. In fact, every dessert we've had on this ship was really amazing. So how would I rate Rooftop Garden Grill? Well, I still love this place. I love the atmosphere, eating al fresco outside. I love the menu. I love the food. The service is good. I like the open kitchen concept. And we will definitely be dining here again on our next celebrity cruise. I would say the food is an 8 out of 10, the service a 10 out of 10, and the atmosphere a 10 out of 10. One day at lunch, I wanted something very light. I didn't want much because we were going to have a big dinner that night, so we thought we'd stop by Raw on 5 and maybe just grab a sushi roll for lunch, maybe share some edamame. You have to have reservations here, even at lunch. Now, the hostess did tell us if we'd come back at 1 o'clock, she could get us a table, and so that's what we did. We came back around 1 o'clock. Service was extremely slow. And the menu, I believe, is the same at lunch as it is at dinner, so it's the same price. You don't save anything by eating lunch here. We ordered a edamame to share. I think that's $4. It was good. I ordered the green roof tuna roll, which is kind of like a spicy tuna roll with avocado on top, and it was good. It was $13. And even though it was good, it's no better than the one you get on Carnival for $5.95. It's very expensive to dine here. Even our local sushi restaurant here in Dallas, I don't know if there's anybody charging $12 or $13 for a sushi roll. That's expensive. But it is good, and it's a nice atmosphere. However, I do think Raw on 5 is a better place for dinner than it is for lunch, because when we had dinner here on Apex last year, we really enjoyed it. So this year, our Raw on 5 experience was maybe a 7 out of 10, whereas last year on Apex, it was a 9 out of 10. Our final specialty restaurant dining experience was at Fine Cut Steakhouse on Deck 5 midship. And we were kind of surprised when we walked through and saw how large this place is. It's really large. And when we arrived at 7:30 for dinner on this is the final night of the cruise, the place was packed. It was very busy. Well, once again, the bread they served was superb. It has been in every venue we ate at. The wine steward recommended a Cabernet, which I tried, and it too was excellent. I ordered two starters. I ordered the crab cake and the black pepper bacon, which is actually a strip of pork belly. Now, Ricky ordered the heirloom tomato salad, which comes with burrata cheese. The crab cake was large and perfectly cooked, had a lot of crab meat in it, and the lemon pepper aioli was really the perfect complement. It was one of the better crab cakes I've ever had. The black pepper bacon, on the other hand, unfortunately was a miss. The piece they brought me was so fatty I could hardly eat it. It was almost just a big chunk of fat. Good preparation and a good idea. I think with a better, leaner piece of pork belly, it would have been very good, but mine just wasn't. For our main course, Ricky ordered the slow pan-roasted chicken. She wasn't that excited about it, but I tried it and I thought it was actually good. So there you go. We don't always agree on everything. The menu claims the steaks here are USDA prime. Now, I've seen other cruise ships claim to serve prime beef, but the term prime doesn't really mean anything. USDA prime actually does have a meaning. That's an actual classification of meat. Now, I eat enough steak where I can tell the difference between USDA prime or USDA choice. Can certainly tell the difference between select. So I was curious to know, are they really serving USDA prime here on Celebrity Beyond? Even more interesting is at Fine Cut Steakhouse, they offer two what they call premium cuts of steak. One is a 30-ounce tomahawk, which is really designed for sharing. And if you're not familiar with tomahawk, it's basically a ribeye with a big long bone attached to it. So it's like a bone-in ribeye, but huge. And then they also offered a USDA prime 30-day dry-aged New York strip steak. Now, usually my go-to steak on every ship is going to be a ribeye because it's a tender, flavorful cut of meat. And they do offer ribeye on or at Fine Cut Steakhouse. But I wanted to check out this dry-aged New York strip just to see if I could tell the difference. Now, when my steak arrived, it was basically just a big chunk of meat on a plate. There were no mushrooms, there was no garnish, there was no sauce. It wasn't sitting on any kind of a gravy or anything. And that is exactly how a good steakhouse should present a good steak. There shouldn't be anything to take away from the flavor of the meat. When I cut into that 1.5-inch thick steak, I could tell instantly that it was perfectly cooked to medium as I had ordered it. The first bite revealed that this was indeed USDA prime, and the richness of the flavor convinced me that this was truly a dry-aged piece of steak. It was very good. Now, if you've seen my videos, you know how much I like the bistecca fiorentina on Viking Ocean's ships. It's a ribeye. It's a delicious steak, and I have claimed it to be the best steak on any cruise ship. But I will tell you that this dry-aged New York strip is right up there in that same category. It actually might be a better piece of meat. They're just both excellent in a different way. So now we have a two-way tie for the best steak I've ever had on a cruise ship. Dry-aged New York strip at Fine Cut Steakhouse on Celebrity Beyond, and the bistecca fiorentina on Viking cruises or Viking Ocean ships. We ended our meal by sharing the ultimate chocolate sundae, which, like every other dessert on beyond was amazing. So how do I rate Fine Cut Steakhouse? At $65 per person, it is expensive to dine here. Our check, including gratuity, was $153 for both of us. However, given that they actually did deliver USDA prime beef and a dry aged steak on top of that, I'm going to say it's worth the price if you both love steak. If you're just going to order chicken or something other than steak, I don't know if it's worth it. But if you're a steak lover and you really enjoy a good piece of meat, yes, it's worth the $65. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it. I'm going to rate my meal a 10 out of 10. I'm going to rate the atmosphere here a 10 out of 10. I'm going to rate the service an 8 out of 10. Our service was a little slow. Again, they were very pleasant. They were very nice. They just seemed a little rushed, and it was hard to get somebody to replace. I wanted some more chimichurri sauce. That took forever. In fact, I don't think I ever even got it just because it took so long to ask for it. I finished my meal before I could get a waiter to come over. So let's wrap up this food and dining review. Overall, I'm going to say the food and dining on Celebrity does live up to the hype. The food is as good or better than any of the other premium cruise lines on which we've sailed. In fact, the food and dining on Celebrity is better than some of the luxury cruise lines on which we've sailed. Now, I told you at the beginning I was going to let you know the best thing I ate on the cruise and my least favorite thing I had on the cruise. Well, I actually have two favorites. One is the New York strip at Fine Cut Steakhouse, but that's not a fair fight because that's a specialty restaurant, not something everybody's going to get to try. But that's up there. That's one of the two things I ate that were the best. The second was the oxtail at Cosmopolitan Restaurant. So both of those were really, really good. And it's funny because oxtail was my favorite meal on Apex last year in Oceanview Cafe, believe it or not. That was my favorite meal of the entire cruise last year. So they know what they're doing with oxtail on Celebrity. And as for the worst, I guess it's going to have to be that black pepper bacon at Fine Cut Steakhouse and the lamb chops at Rooftop Garden. Maybe there's a tie for worst thing there. Lamb chops were tough, flavorless. Black pepper bacon just too fatty. My overall assessment of the food and dining on Celebrity Beyond, I have to say it's good to excellent. I think if you go on Celebrity and you love good food, you're going to be in for a real treat because this is some of the best food we've had on any cruise ship. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on your food and dining experience on an Edge class ship or any Celebrity ship for that matter. Also, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, and that really helps our rankings with YouTube. And once again, we don't care what ship you sail on, we're going to always wish you smooth sailing.